Hi everybody, Jay from CJ Skatepark here in beautiful Canada. One of my favorite places, Niagara-on-the-Lake, not just because there's a skate park here, but we love wineries. Anyway, it's my great pleasure today to be here with Irwin, the town councilor, one of the people behind this project and supporting it, of course, with the local business offices and recreation department, Dan here, who's done an incredible job, the supervisor here, and it's just an amazing thing to see this happen, and maybe you want to tell a little about it.
So what happened is every year our local Virgil Business Association picks some sort of function that they want, something that they want to donate their money to. And several years ago they decided on a skateboard park. We had a makeshift type park that was getting a lot of use.
These town councilors are always busy, they're always in demand.
Sorry, excuse me. And so what happened was it was getting an incredible amount of use. And so what happened is the Virgil Business Association got behind supporting, funding a proper setup that we have. And this was the culmination of it, which was a spectacular. It's turned out to be better than we anticipated. They did a great job. It was really affordable, relatively affordable for things that you have in a park. It's centralized right in the park, and so the idea is that families can come here as a family. If somebody's playing sports or soccer, baseball, whatever, then or they can always use a skate park. We've had it has turned out better than we had anticipated.
Well, and I got to commend you guys because we work with a lot of parks and trying to set up things like this, and often they end up picking the wrong location, maybe the wrong kind of park, and don't have amenities like washrooms and drinking fountains, or even shelter, right? Because it gets sunny, right? So I commend you guys. You've done all the right things, which is awesome. And you know, it doesn't have to be a huge park. There's something here for everybody, which is great, whether you're a beginner or you're semi-professional. But it's great to see your community come out and support it, and it's great that you are behind it now. A lot of people are still, you know, skate park, I don't know, we want to build a hockey rink there, we want to do this. So, you know, that must have been a challenge in a way, or?
The way I looked at it, or what I saw was happening is a lot of people of my generation didn't grow up with skateboards and that. So they, you know, we understand lacrosse, hockey, baseball, soccer, and that's something that everybody does. So getting behind a skateboard, there has been in the past a negative perception behind it. The reality is that's not the truth. It's quite the opposite.
Oh,
so the reality is we have no problems with it. There's no issues, and it's been up and running for about a year, and with no complaints. And so it's centrally located, and aesthetically it's very nice looking. They did a terrific job. It looks good.
Great greenery.
But it looks good. It's easy to use. It's
flow to it,
and it's good for all ages. So a mom or a dad can come with young kids and older kids and look after one while the other one goes on the skateboard park, and it's perfect. We have a splash pad behind it too.
Yeah, it's great.
So we have everything combined, and it's centralized. The only thing I would say is if anybody's building it, build it in more centralized, not tucked in a corner. Build it in the center where you've got lighting, where you've got everything, because it will make it more inviting. It will be easier. You have less chance of graffiti or any of those things, because you have eyes on it from all locations, and I highly recommend anybody. And they're not really that expensive to build.
No, and you can do it in phases. You can do this in phases. I know you've got a couple plans for a few other parks.
We do have plans for extent.
Now, one thing, you're preaching to the choir, and this is what we try to tell you all the time. Now, you do have a law enforcement background, so you do know some of those stats, which is important. And I think some people hear things, but it's not necessarily true. So I think that was probably helpful in your process.
Certainly. So perception and reality a lot of times are two different things, right? So we have to understand, and if you use the proper architectural design phase, you won't have a problem. And the fact is we want kids in our parks.
Yeah.
Right? We want the parks to be used. What we want to have is we want the problem of being overused. Too many people. That's the problem we're looking for.
Yeah.
And so there'll always be a certain amount of minority people that aren't going to want to have it for many reasons.
Yeah.
But most of them, once you whittle it down to what it is, it's just I don't want to have it, as opposed to this is a great addition. And we already have. It's a great addition, giving one more option for a family to come to do that. And if you're in a small town, you want options for the kids to do.
Yeah, that's an interesting, 18,000 people I think roughly here, so it is relatively small. So to get some of this is not that happen that often in small towns, generally bigger cities, right? So I commend you for doing that. Now the other thing is there's a young boy from Bradford whose name is Sebastian, and he's written to me, and he's trying to do this in his area, which is also a small town. And he's here today, and I would love him to spend a few seconds asking some questions. So Sebastian, if you want to come over, please.
Hi, how you doing, Sebastian?
Good. What about you?
Not too bad, doing great.
Yep. So what I wanted to ask you is, do you love this skate park? Do you love what it did for the community?
So I can tell you this: I love it more now that it's built than I did before. I was a supporter because of the Virgil Business Association when they decided to do it. I was once I had just come on in a little closer here, and so it used to be around the corner from here, made out of wood, and it was kind of in not a great spot. But what happened was once we got it in, and suddenly the kids were here and the families were here. What happened is you see how it has been a terrific addition, and it's been something different. We already have arenas, and most communities do. They'll have an arena, they'll have a baseball diamond, they'll have all those things. And what they don't have is a skateboard park. So the idea is to get more things for more people to do in different areas. And even one of our plans moving forward is even have a walking path here so that now a family can drop off.
I noticed there is a sort of a parkway here. People were walking by during the morning when we were setting up. They're all walking through. It was great.
And so we want to have a bigger one so that somebody my age can drop off a grandchild or something to play here, and then I can walk around the path and get my exercise, right?
Yep.
And that sort of thing. So it's one more option, right? It's more options and
his age. I'm older than him, but anyway.
but
yeah.
You know where I'm going from. And so it's something. If you're thinking about doing it. So what I would suggest, two things, is the biggest issue you're going to run into is finances. Is financing it. Number one, so that's where you want to get your local businesses to buy in to it, and the way they buy in is to look at a place like Niagara Lake and how it's been successful here, amongst other places.
And I believe you said this earlier. I believe you worked with the local business group here, right?
There's a business association here in the town, and they're the ones that.
Yes.
They spearheaded the whole thing.
Yeah, I met the gentleman earlier.
Dave Wall did that.
Yes.
And awesome.
Yes.
And spearheaded it. And the other thing is as there is always going to be somebody that is going to be a naysayer. We shouldn't do it for whatever reason. You're going to have to listen to what their concerns are and address them, but don't let them discourage you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this is the guy you're going to pitch.
Yeah.
You're going to get, you have several town councilors, I guess, right?
It's a lot easier now when you say, look, it's a huge success in Niagara on the Lake. Amongst other places, it's been a success. And the other thing is now it's a template. You can use us as a template moving forward on where to put it and why we put it here and all that stuff. The other issue that you're going to come up, people always talk about noise. What are we, 120 feet away from it?
Yeah.
How much noise is there? And it's getting tons
I hear the lawnmower over the skate park.
And that lawnmower, which is a great point.
Away.
So that lawnmower is going to be 300 feet from us. We're 120 feet away. So you are going to hear that the biggest complaint is going to be noise, which we now know, we can see right here anecdotally that it's not. Now the town did do a noise study afterwards and to refute any sort of complaints about noise.
And just to address the noise thing, wheels used to be really loud.
Yeah.
Now with the urethane, now with the better bearings, they're really quiet. As well, you use landscaping to help shelter that as well, so you can't hear anything.
That's one of our plans too, is to move.
The only noise you might hear is people's laughter because they're having so much fun.
And that's a good thing.
Yes.
Right. My dad lives over in the condos behind us. My dad's 85 years old, and I asked him about that. My dad says it makes me feel good. It makes people enjoying themselves. That's great. Like that's what living next to a park's all about, is enjoyment. To listen to people enjoying themselves and being able to see activity and life. And a community is based on life, the life of the community, being involved and stuff's happening. You're not a museum. You're a living, breathing operation that's going, and you want people out there. You want people being interactive.
And Sebastian, if you could ask Irwin anything, because he's got a lot of good information there. What else would you want to know that could help you in your goals for your community?
Did you have any regrets?
Not a single regret. What happened was we had a plan, and we stuck to that plan. And that's what it is once you get that plan going, so no regrets. Like I say, it's all I can think of is having the faith. Make sure you have everything in place. And the biggest thing I'm going to say is finance. It's build it and they will come, I guarantee it. But build it right. If you build it right, like ours was not that expensive. I don't recall the final tally, and it doesn't happen overnight, fundraising and all that stuff, and that. But the only regret I would say
Is you can't use it yourself.
I wish we had built it bigger.
But you know what? You've got other phases in
We
there.
have
So
phases
I
coming.
think actually, that's great that you said that. But I find most of the times it's good to start with one phase, get the community buy-in, and then slowly you go to your other phases.
So it's terrific.
Yeah. No, it's a great start. It's awesome. Anything else, Sebastian, from your standpoint you'd want to know? Ask for a check right now. No, just kidding. You can't. Different community.
Different views. Well, I would say, Sebastian, it is something that's important, and it just takes a few people to get started. So what happens is don't be overwhelmed by it. Get 2 or 3 key people that can help you, and you start with your mayor. Get your mayor to buy it. The mayor buys it.
That's important.
I actually got a councilor on. I contacted a councilor in the Bradford area. He's new,
Yep.
so it's just like not pressure, but more proof that the people want it.
Get them involved, because they're going to be involved sometimes. So get them involved at the early stages so that they buy in. Once they buy in, and once they understand, so get them involved, and then get somebody who's key in the business area, because you're going to have to do some fundraising. However Bradford does their fundraising, and we do it through we have a carnival, a stampede we call it, and that's how they fundraise here, the Virgil Stampede, May 21st to 24th. A shameless plug.
Yeah, no. I think we're supposed to attend it this year or something.
Yeah.
That's a really interesting point. We do touch on that, but so I have a question. So Sebastian and the people who want this, they should probably participate in part of that fundraising. I guess they have to show that they have skin in the game, as they say, right?
Yeah. I do have a fundraiser right now, a petition that has 500 signatures from almost everyone in Bradford.
So there you go. And that's a perfect start. So once you get the buy-in, and then the next thing is develop the plan, and then what you do is you start getting commitments for funding, and commitments can be $100, $50 from people, because every little bit counts. Some of it you might have to finance.
And just as I do a lot of this, to me, what I hear is if Sebastian can get some people from his side that put some money into it, that makes your job a lot easier, right?
Certainly, because what happens is you live in a democracy. If the majority of people want something, then you're going to move towards that. Hope, like all things being equal, you're going to move to that. If the concern is going to be always, okay, if we build it, will they come? Like, is it going to be a white elephant? And that's where you have to say that generational skateboarding.
But it could be a black elephant, just being with what's going on right now, right?
Well, what I'm saying now is,
All lifespan.
Yeah.
Over in the petition, in the comments on Facebook, every comment has been, we want this, we love it.
So now we got to get them to put their money.
Now the next thing is to put your money where your mouth is, and volunteering time. And maybe what it is doing things that volunteer
for the community.
Wow, yes, fundraising that way, or cleanup, or getting involved in it. Because what happens is it will die on the vine if something else comes in and takes precedent.
Yeah.
If it's something you really want, you need to drive it. So the way town councils generally work is that they're going to look to see what the community wants, and they're going to move towards that. And it's harder for older people to wrap their head around a skateboard park.
I'm older.
I know.
But you're right. Our generation, most of us didn't skateboard, and like you said, no baseball, no soccer, no all these sports, and they want to do that with their kids. So now we have the new generations coming up, and that's why this is more important now than ever.
So the last thing is it doesn't take a big footprint. You don't need much real estate, but you want it centrally located. So, sound good?
That's great. Anything else you ever?
Nothing much.
You know what the other thing you do is you follow up with people that already have one, just to keep them on board and say, this is what we're using, so that if you talk to Dan from the town here, who helped facilitate the whole thing, he can tell you the pitfalls of what to avoid.
Yeah.
I know globally, like a higher level of it, but what they did and what they didn't, what they did that was right, and what they did that they would change, right?
Yeah. One thing that I wanted to touch on too is skateboarding is very good for ADHD and very good for your confidence. Very
Absolutely.
good for mentality.
You know what?
And if Irwin wasn't suffering for all those things, he probably would get on the skateboard. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. No, we work with a lot of special needs kids, and that's the great thing is that it embraces them. We get at-risk youth to help work and help the younger kids who do have some physical and mental challenges, which is.
And it's not an expensive sport to get into. It's fully accessible for almost anybody. Like
Yep.
anybody can do it, right? And if it's right there in your neighborhood, people will do it.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank Irwin for being
Thank
with us
you.
today, and of course Sebastian coming all the way from Bradford. It's an inside joke. I'll tell you later. Anyway, I kept saying a different name, but these guys gave me a tip on how to remember it. Anyway, thank you guys, and if you're looking at doing a skate park in your own community and who want to build it and everything, please reach out to us. We're happy to help you, and keep up the great work, and be safe and have fun.